Everybody for being here today. We're going to be discussing our Open Space Division's new EcoCare kits. So Mayor, if you would like to kick us off.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to be here today. This is a really unique partnership, and we are here standing with our Open Space, a team from Parks and Rec, and also, of course, our Open Space APD unit, and our Chief of Police, and NM Kids Matter. And so you might be asking yourself, what do all of us have in common? Which first and foremost is the families and children of Albuquerque. But I want to thank the division for finding a way, Open Space Division, for finding an opportunity to help youth in foster care. That's what this is about. A combined program for us to be able to provide a path out of a lot of intergenerational trauma. And so we know navigating what foster kids go through can be very, very difficult, and forming relationships with new people in their lives is also very difficult. And this, of course, is about their path through often court-appointed advocates and even to additional families down the road. And I know our CAO always, who's been in the foster system and fostered kids, also feels very passionately about this and really was excited about this idea of the one Albuquerque spirit of all of us coming together, but also trying to laser focus on what we can do to help court-appointed special advocates. And so today, we're announcing an unusual combo with a great result, the EcoCare kits that we are rolling out. And I think we're going to share with you some examples of this, but these kits contain tools that will help children connect to nature, something that we know is therapeutic on a number of fronts. It's beneficial for children managing emotions and stress. I know that's the case even with my kids. But this is a lifelong gift, and it's also done, the kit is in such a way that they can even experience aspects of outdoors and of our ecosystem, even at home. And so we'll walk you through exactly what's inside the kits. But basically our Parks Department and our Open Space Division, they've created even a Roadrunner mascot for the program, which I think Dave has here. You want to show our example of our Roadrunner stuffed animal this is going to come with? But you can see the items here in the kit, and we'll walk through kind of which each one of these does. But there's all sorts of interactive ways for folks to engage with the world around them. So it's just in some ways a small way to provide comfort, but I think in major ways it's a bridge for special court-appointed advocates and foster children to have something to go through and work on that they have in common, which is the world around them outside right here in Albuquerque. And if you've been in these situations, that is really important for relationship building, to have somewhere to start from. And that's really what this is all about. And of course, in an age-appropriate way for kids. So what I'm going to do is hand it back over we'll actually hand it next to Director Dave Simon from our Parks and Rec Department, who also, of course, oversees open space. And I do have a little bit of a tight schedule, so if you had questions and stuff, there are great folks here who are going to be able to handle that. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Director Dave Simon.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good job.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. Mayor Keller's administration has really prioritized providing new opportunities for kids all over our city and helping them forward on a positive path. This is just one more tool that we're rolling out to deepen those experiences for Albuquerque's kids. And our staff in Parks and Recreation really has a deep understanding of the healing power of nature. This program came to fruition from some listening sessions that we had, interagency listening sessions, where we thought about how we could partner with other entities to address the needs of Albuquerque's children. And nature has an amazing healing power. This has been proven now and confirmed by research and scientific study around the country of various populations, adults and children. And we want to put this healing power of nature to work to benefit our kids in Albuquerque, particularly kids that have experienced trauma or families that have been trauma affected. Nature can be a very, very powerful salve and medicine for difficult life experiences. In fact, we hear a lot about the negative impacts of adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. It's the common lingo right now about what we need to do to prevent ACEs. And really what we see our job in Parks and Recreation in an open space is to prevent ACEs by providing PACEs, P-A-C-Es. And those are positively amazing childhood experiences. So our EcoCare kits are going to be part of what Parks and Rec and Open Space does to create PACEs for children. So I want to also thank New Mexico Kids Matter for their partnership and support and the great work they do in this space. Now these EcoCare kits contain activities, worksheets, books, pamphlets, and study materials that children can use to get close and learn from nature. These kits are also very flexible in that we realize that children may not always have access directly to nature. So these kits are designed to be used anywhere, really, in a neighborhood park, in an open space or nature preserve, but even in a child's own backyard. And they can be used individually by a child with or without a supportive adult's assistance. So we're going to be able to bring these programs to children who need contact with nature everywhere. And all children deserve positive experiences in nature. Now, in whatever way we can, we want to connect these children to nature and its healing power. We also know that sometimes when children enter into the foster care system, or they have contact with our public safety and law enforcement systems, they're in traumatic situations. And they'll often come in contact with a first responder in these situations. So we also wanted to provide an element to our partners in first response to give them something comforting in their vehicles that they can give to children who are in these traumatic situations. So that's why we've also added in this element of a New Mexico, our New Mexico state animal, the roadrunner, the state bird here, and we're going to have these available in the kits, as well as a healthy supply of them going out to our partners in APD and Albuquerque Fire and Rescue, so their officers and firefighters can distribute them right on scene to children and strengthen that bond with kids who are going through trauma, that these firefighters and officers are there to care for them and support them. With that, I want to now turn it over to our police chief, Harold Medina, to talk a little bit about the perspective of law enforcement in helping to address trauma in children. Chief?
Thank you, Dave. Just want to thank everybody for allowing us to speak this afternoon on this important topic. And I think that we need to remember that the pandemic has been tough on everybody, whether it's adults, children, and we have to do everything we can to create that support network for everybody in the system and help them where we can. We need to come together for our youth, and this is a philosophy that I brought back with me in 2017 when I returned to the Albuquerque Police Department. We immediately put an emphasis on youth for one specific reason, and that was to create a positive law enforcement first interaction with the next generation of citizens within the city. We developed a series of youth camps, and we expanded them greatly in partnership with a lot of different entities. Like Director Simon said, the outdoors and nature is a great way for people to get some mental clarity and to help themselves. For example, I enjoy the outdoors. I grew up in Taos, New Mexico. That was always an outlet for me as a child, and it's continued as an adult. A lot of people don't realize this, but I actually have a degree in biology with an emphasis in wildlife. And prior to coming to Albuquerque Police Department, I worked for the United States Forest Service. And I think it's important that we bring these activities to youth, but that we also start using it as a way to increase our relationship as law enforcement agencies with our youth. When children are experiencing traumatic events, we want to make sure that we always have some kind of gesture to give these kids to let them know that there's support. In the past, there's been a lot of different programs we've emphasized, but going forward, we're going to be working to ensure that our officers have these road runners and some of these packages to give to our youth. So it's not just something that comforts them, it's something that they could look forward to and learn from, and hopefully develop the outdoors and nature as a way to assist themselves. In addition to our open space officers getting the first batch of these and working to publicize the outdoors, we'll be turning these over to our horse-mounted unit and our SRO units, which already work greatly with the youth in our community. It's not only going to help create a first step in the healing of children, but these are the long-term solutions that we know we need to bring to the city of Albuquerque to change the trajectory and the problems that we're seeing within our community right now. There's a lot of law enforcement-based programs right now which are dealing with short-term solutions to some of the problems that we see within the community that we're struggling with in terms of violence and crime. But the long-term solutions are creating a healthy next generation that moves forward and helps us reduce a lot of the issues that we're seeing. So we're excited to take part of this. We're excited that that parks and open spaces reached out to us, and that we're working together to ensure that we help tomorrow's generations find better ways to cope and work with in themselves to make themselves stronger individuals and get over some of the traumas that they experienced during their life. So I want to thank all our partners for working with us, and we're going to turn this over now, I think, to the next person.
Yes. Hi, I'm Veronica Montaño-Pilch. I'm honored to be the director of New Mexico Kids Matter. We run the court-appointed special advocacy program here in Bernalillo County that stands, we call them CASAs. And our CASAs are everyday people like you. They come from all walks of life, and what they want to do is they want to make a connection with the youth. We train a volunteer, and then they get to work with the youth who, as Chief Medina and Dave Simon also talked about, was about ACEs and trauma. Children, youth, and families, the protective services in the state of New Mexico isn't in the habit of taking away children from families. They're about making sure families stay together, offering them services, but when it's necessary for a child to enter protective services, they need people around them. They need the village, and we're part of that community. We train volunteers to work with that child and ultimately write a report to the judge. And these EcoCare kits are amazing. And why are they amazing? They're amazing because of the love that's actually been put into this. You may not be able to see it all really close, but there is a bandana and a parent and a child who are looking to be reunified. They could work on that. A CASA who goes out with a child can look at that and play that game. The book that's over here there was an agreement with Bookworks to get that at cost. You look at this, and Dr. Shine actually wrote a little poem in there and volunteered that. It's the community coming together, bringing all of these things together so that kids could have positive life experiences. And we count on the community, all of this. We have this, and this isn't going to be a success unless the community steps forward. And what I mean by that, you need a volunteer. You need a volunteer at your libraries. You need a volunteer down the block to hand out food. And you also need a volunteer at New Mexico Kids Matter. Do the hard work. This isn't a one and done kind of volunteer. This is a commitment for a year, but maybe a commitment for a lifetime to make a connection with the youth and to be there with that youth. When I looked at this book and I saw this book, it's called Everybody Needs a Rock. And in there it says, everybody needs a rock. I'm sorry for kids who don't have a rock for a friend. I'm sorry for kids who only have tricycles, bicycles, horses, elephants, goldfish, 3-room playhouses, fire engines, wind-up dragons, and things like that. If they don't have a rock for a friend, you could also be a friend to a kid. And it's important. And I think all of us have to take that time and step up and do what's necessary to give those positive life experiences. And I thank the mayor for letting his department and letting all of the people come with some great ideas and putting something together and making sure that the police know that this is important, and all of us need to know that this is important. So I'm really excited to get these in the hand of our CASAs. I'm also excited to get these in the hands of parents who are working hard to get their kids back. I'm excited to get these in the hands of foster parents who every day take care of the children. All of us have to work together to make sure we all have positive life experiences. So thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll take some questions if there are any. All right. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap.